these fossil fuel companies are the source of climate disinformation. The reality is these companies have been engaged in misrepresentation to the American public for decades. They deserve to now face the questions of Congress, and the American public deserves answers. They say, we get it, we want to be leading in renewable energy, we're going to go towards 100% renewable energy future, that's our strategy. And yet at the same time, they hire lobbyists like McCoy to kill any legislation that's supporting renewable energy. At the same time, they're putting millions of dollars into groups that are coming out with academic studies or campaigns to say the climate crisis isn't a real threat. So they can't have it both ways. And these companies are going to have to answer. It's not enough for the Exxon CEO to say, oh, I'm sorry that we had McCoy out there in the halls of Congress trying to kill climate legislation. That's not going to cut it. They need to come and explain exactly what are they doing to hinder climate crisis legislation and what are they going to do differently. You can't tackle the climate crisis when you have climate misinformation that gets half the country not to agree on the common set of facts. So if you care about the climate crisis, yes, we need a carbon tax, yes, we need massive renewable and solar and wind, but we won't get any of that to clear the House and the Senate without there being a common source of information. And we have read report after report about how these fossil fuel companies sink millions of dollars in concerted climate misinformation campaigns, in cooking academic studies to de-emphasize the threat of the climate crisis, in having lobbyists kill legislation. And the result is that we're not doing the things we need. Why don't we have the trillions of dollars of investment that we need? Why don't we have a price on carbon? Why don't we have a robust clean energy standard? These things aren't controversial if you listen to the scientists, but they've been made controversial because of this disinformation campaign. They need to explain exactly what they're doing, and then we need to have rules that prevent them from having this kind of misinformation that's a breach of fiduciary duty to their shareholders. Why is it that fossil fuel CEOs think they don't have to answer the questions of the American public when pharmaceutical executives do, defense contractors do, tech executives do, Wall Street executives do? They're going to show up. If their time for playing games is over, they're going to have to answer for what they've been doing for the past decades in blocking climate legislation and spreading climate misinformation.